Hello and welcome to Across the Acres, a Beck's Hybrids podcast, where our goal is to connect, challenge, and inspire each and every one of you by sharing interviews of others who have a story or message to share. Today I'm joined by my ever-faithful producer, engineer, man behind the board, Morgan Fitch.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well, and you look excellent in a backwards hat.
Oh, appreciate it.
It brings out your eyes.
Oh,
It's a good look.
You're so sweet.
We are also joined today by our special guest, Stu Manchester of Manchester Ag. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Yes.
Welcome to Atlanta, Indiana.
Yeah, thanks. Here with the champions.
You are, for sure. And you get to Atlanta how many times in the spring?
Well, this time of year, we'll get to Atlanta 2 times a week.
2 times a week.
Hauling seed.
Holy
bet.
cow.
Hauling seed.
Hauling seed today. Come back tomorrow. Take another load out.
Fantastic.
And we got other semis coming too. So we had 2 loads come yesterday. So yeah.
Wow.
It's all good.
Busy
Hey.
time
It's
of year.
actually fun to come here.
Oh, I bet.
It's like a 2-hour drive, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's like awesome.
Grab some popcorn.
Have lunch.
Have lunch.
See everybody.
Yep.
You
Got
bet.
to talk to Scott today. Talk
Oh,
to Corey
nice.
today.
There you go.
Good.
You know.
Good.
Perfect.
Good. I did see you and your lovely wife, Paula, grilling Scott Beck today. He was in tears. What was
Yes.
that about?
Oh, man.
You got to be nicer to him.
Well,
His name's on the sign.
I know. It's really hard.
No, but you've been with Beck's.
Well, I think the tears was joy, tears of joy.
Oh, that's
because
what it
he
was.
was showing us pictures of Blair
Oh,
and
that
the
explains
6-month-old
it.
one, which I don't remember the name for Chris's baby.
Ooh, sorry, Chris.
Come on,
I don't
guys, you're
remember
employees.
either.
I'm only a dealer.
I don't remember my children's names. So.
Oh, well, that's
yeah,
true.
It's just part of it.
Yeah, that's part of it.
But you've been with Beck's how long now?
This is our 4th year.
4th year
Yeah,
already.
so yep.
I remember when you came through New
Yeah.
Dealer Orientation.
Yes.
Seems like yesterday.
Yeah, it does. Time's flying by, but yeah, I started in 1974 in ag retail.
Wow.
So 49th year this year.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I hope to go at least 10 more years.
You
Yep.
can.
You know, my wife said I got a big birthday next year, and it's like, next year's just medium. I mean, 70,
40 is not that big of a
70s.
birthday
Yeah,
anymore.
right, because I'm 49.
Right,
So
yeah.
20th time.
Yeah,
20th
exactly.
time, 49. But
Yeah.
it'll be a big birthday when I get to 90, and I'm still selling Beck seeds. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You better
great.
be.
Right.
We need you.
Right.
We need you. And you're based out of where?
We're at Rensselaer, Indiana.
Okay.
Northwest corner, Indiana, up by Fair Oaks Dairy, up in there.
Very nice.
So we start at the Michigan Sands, and then to the south of us a mile is the start of the prairie. So we have kind of the prairie clay to irrigated Michigan Sands.
I've been to your place. It's very pretty
Yeah.
up there.
It is very
very
pretty.
nice.
Very nice. Yeah.
Gorgeous part of the country.
Yeah.
Weird
the
time
Central
zone
States.
though, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
You're like right on the cusp. It's
We are.
throws me off every time.
Half our customers are on Central Time, and the other half's on Eastern. So you just kind of got to figure it out.
Yeah.
It's a dance, isn't it?
Right. But the good thing is you can start early on this Central Time guys or the Eastern Time guys,
Eastern
and
time.
then whip over to the Central Time guys and be right on time.
You get an extra hour out of every day.
Yes, exactly.
Man, that's pretty handy stuff.
Yeah, I need it too. I need that
Oh,
hour.
you and me both. My goodness.
It's a challenge.
There's never enough hours in the day.
Right.
Well, give us a little more background on your family. You've got a
Okay.
lovely wife, Paula,
Yep.
and then more.
Yep. My mirror image is for me. I'm the image of my wife. So
Yes.
yeah, we've been
Not
married.
as pretty as she is, no
well,
offense.
of course not. I'm
No.
sorry. But her hair is way better than mine too. So, but we've been married 19 years, and we're a split marriage. So I have a daughter that lives in Kansas, and she's 29. She's getting married next year, and then Paula has 2 daughters that live at Fisher's here,
Okay.
and Zionsville,
Yep.
and the grandkids they're mid-20s, so they're all living down this way. And then the small grandkids, we have 2 of those, and they're 8 and 12, and they live at Fisher's and go to school there.
Okay.
So yeah,
Cool.
You got
So-
a lot of reason to come here then.
yes. Besides coming to Beck's, we
see.
come to Fisher's, and
See the kids.
we're coming down Saturday just to go out to a restaurant. And then everybody's coming over to Victoria's because they live down closer to downtown. So they're all coming over there, and we're all going to meet after dinner
Good.
on Saturday. So, yeah.
Very good. So tell us a little bit about why Beck's Hybrids 4 years ago.
Okay, Beck's Hybrids, yeah. We were approached in like 2015 So we were another dealer for another national brand for 10 years, and we had our own ag business from the 70. We started our own ag business in 79, and that ended when I got divorced in 97, and then went to work for a co-op and then another independent, and then we were able to get our own dealership. And we were happy with that dealership at the time, and we had one of our seat advisors. He asked us if we wanted to switch to Beck's, like in 2015, 16. It's like, nah, we're good where we're at. We didn't really understand Beck, the Beck culture. Mm-hmm. I mean, there is a huge difference when you're talking corporate culture and family owned and Beck's culture, even though we're family owned and it's just my wife and I. So at the end of the day, things went south a little bit with, I call it arrogance. If you want to be politically correct, Jim Zimmer called it complacency.
Okay. Ooh, so, I like that term.
So
let's
they
go
get
with
complacent with you.
Yes.
And in 2018, we were ready to switch, and we made a 6-month decision. It literally took us 6 months to make this decision. And
it's a big one.
It's a big decision because we've been on these farms since 74, 75. So we're on 3 generations on a lot of our accounts. So it's like you can't make that decision for yourself.
Right.
You got to incorporate your people, your customers, and they're kind of like family and partners. And so they all knew what we were doing. And then Jason Blanco told us that through our interviews and discussions and just invite some down. So we did. We invited 3 helicopter rides down, and then Paul was like, if you're not switching to Beck's, you better not bring anybody down because they're going to buy Beck's and you're going to be out.
She is a wise woman.
She is wise. That's exactly right. So at the end of the day, we narrowed it down to 2 companies, and we had 7 companies that we were interviewing with.
Wow.
And at the end, we narrowed it down to Beck's, and we still, at the time we made that change, we still did not understand the Beck's culture. I mean, we were like, I'm not going to drink the Kool-Aid kind of deal.
Yep.
I'm just not going to accept it. And every time we'd come, somebody's like, well, how long you worked here? Well, I've been here 25 years, 20 years, 30 years. Yeah, I've been here since it started, kind of. And it's like, and everybody was happy. And we were just waiting for the axe to fall. We could never, for a year, like for a whole year, it's like the axe never fell. It's like, oh my gosh, this is a real deal.
Yeah, it sure is.
And we weren't, at the beginning, in that transition, we just didn't know. I mean, we would been our backs on the wall so much. I mean, we didn't trust anybody because of our previous experience through corporate America. So we just didn't trust anybody. And then it was like, wow, what a great move for us.
Breath of fresh air.
Yeah, a great move for us. It was the culture. I mean, the ability to see, like today we came down, had lunch, loaded a load of seed, had lunch. There's Scott, there's Corey. I mean, you're just able to stop and talk and visit, and they ask you how things are going. They're really concerning about our life and our customers' lives, and that's how we are. So we're very concerning about our customers.
You bet.
And partners and how we've partnered with them. So
the genuine care you and Paula exhibit is felt and appreciated. Mm-hmm. We see that, we feel that, how you care about your customers. Ultimately, that's our Beck's motto, helping farmers succeed. But you can't really help someone succeed if you don't genuinely care.
Great, exactly.
That's just a false motto or a false statement. And the waiting for the axe to fall, Morgan should tell him, we pump oxygen into Atlanta.
Okay, there you go.
That's why you feel good when you come.
Right.
It's like a Vegas casino.
It's totally like a Vegas casino, minus the gambling and other things. But, it is a unique experience to come here.
Yeah.
And our customers feel that and see that.
Right.
And as employees, we thrive on that.
Right. And so when we transitioned, it was, we're not large. I mean, it's just Paul and I. So, we're fairly large, but we're not like super large. I mean, we're just a good-sized dealership, and we don't farm, so it's just our dealership. And we transitioned to 100%. Not 100% of the customer base, but 100% of our gross money that we would sell in that transition.
Wow.
And all the numbers were calculated in that 7-month period at 60% retention.
Okay.
And we retained all of it, and we lost like 200 bags of corn.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. And then 2 customers and 200 bags of corn. But then like that one day, we picked up a 3,500 acre account, 100% Becks that never bought. Was buying maybe a little bit of Becks, but we dealt with them back in '75. We used to spray his dad's farm and hadn't really seen him for like 15 years, and just made a stop. And I mean, he ordered 100% on 3,500 acres. So
wow.
yeah. So it's been a good transition.
Fantastic. God's blessed you for sure.
Oh yes. Well, yeah. That's another story. But yeah.
Well, and that's where we're headed next. So you segued on that one perfectly, Stu.
Right.
Good job. By the way, AKA Stuart,
Yes.
Stu Baby,
Yes.
Stu the Man.
No, just Stu Man, not
Stu
the
Man.
man. There's
Not
a
the
difference
man.
between the man and just Stu Man.
I'm glad we
Stu Man.
clarified
Yeah,
that.
me too.
Yeah.
I'm going to write that down.
Now,
Yeah,
there
be
is-
sure to write that
Now
down.
Stu Baby, now that's getting up there.
Okay. So it maybe some legally changing of name
Yeah, maybe.
at some point
Yeah.
to Stu Baby.
Right.
Is that hyphenated?
No,
Okay.
that's all one word.
All one word. Okay.
Yes.
So make sure we get it right for the documentation.
Of course.
And then
But,
they called me Stu Cow or Man Cow because we used to have cows. So
Okay.
there's a lot of names.
My goodness. I don't have near that many aliases. Morgan, do you?
No.
No.
At least none that I can say. So.
Legally
Yeah, right. Yeah.
on the air.
I signed an NDA.
Right. Yep. Well, no, tell us about the faith journey that
Oh,
you've been on.
yes. So my faith journey started, I was 49. So my whole life, I grew up, we did not go to church at all, zero. We did not believe or even think that there was a God. So for myself, it was like, you just put yourself out there, you worked a lot, you created and accomplished everything on your own. I mean, and that's what I did. From the time I was little all the way through adulthood, junior high, senior high school, into young adulthood. And then adulthood is I accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish. And then in '97, I lost our business, divorced, bankruptcy in like 3 months.
Oh, my.
And at that point in time, it was no faith-based. I mean, God wasn't even in the picture.
Okay.
I didn't have a gun. So I had a gun to my head, was about ready to pull the trigger, and had my finger on the trigger and saw a bright light. So this was 1993. I lost everything in 97, physically, that we had created. So at the end of the day, I was suicidal from 97 to 2003. Basically wanted to kill myself every day. Didn't want to live, didn't have hope. I was so desperate that I finally went to a church on a Sunday morning in the fall.
Kind of like a last-ditch effort?
Yeah, just something, because
Okay.
I just sit and cry. I mean,
Sure.
I was living in my truck in empty buildings. That was where I was at.
Yep. So homeless.
Home. Yeah, I had a home.
Essentially.
I guess my truck was my home.
Truck was your home.
But yeah, I lived in my truck, empty buildings, made about $200 cash a month, would eat like every 2 days, eat
Okay.
something, not a lot. Maybe it's just a scoop of peanut butter or maybe a dried bowl of cereals. If you wanted wet cereals, you use water because you didn't afford milk, of course.
Right.
So didn't have chickens. Well, I was living in my truck in empty buildings that summer of 2002 and had a really, it was a dynamic power. I wanted to kill my dad, could have. I was going in a pit.
The devil was working hard.
Oh yeah, super hard. I mean,
Yeah.
he was very close to having me. And then there was a farmer that I was doing calibrations for force at the time, and so I worked with like 5-6 Syngenta reps, and there was a customer up on the river, and he's like, "Come to our church." He said, "Jesus Christ can help you." He didn't say I could help. He didn't say he could help me, or he didn't say his church could help me. He just said, "Jesus Christ can help you." And I think that stuck in my head somewhere along the line. So that was like 2000. Well, I didn't walk into that church until the fall of 2002. So, I mean, there's always a journey, and there's always a time, and there's always a seed planted.
Yes.
And God will grow the seed if you plant your seeds. And there's going to be times that you're going to say something that nobody will take that instant, but the seed has been planted, and it will grow, and it might grow 5 years from now, or 6 years, or 2 years, or maybe a month. Who knows? It's God's timing.
Amen.
So at the end of the day, I walked into that church, and they just kind of put their arms around me and invited me back. And so I did. I went back, and there was 4 people in the Bible study: the pastor, myself, the old pastor, and another gentleman. And the pastor asked me, he goes, "What do you know of God?" And I says, "I don't think there is a God." And that was 2002, fall.
Okay.
And then a friend of mine got me into his dad's basement for the winter to live, so I didn't have to live in my truck.
Okay. Major step up.
Yeah, had a place to go, and got into that church, and then it got worse. So alcohol in the morning, had to have alcohol in the morning, didn't do drugs, but it got worse. No money, didn't want to go back home for Christmas. I didn't go back home for Christmas to my parents. And then in March, I got saved, and I was 49. So 49's been a good year for me. So I just stay 49, and it's my 20th time. So
20th time on 49.
But, but I got saved in 2003, and that's when my journey with Christ started. I met my wife that summer. We got married the next year. I got a job that next year. We got our own seed business in 2012. Got our Beck's business in 2018. Got our sheds, our buildings. Our family has been exposed. You know, we've seen our grandkids get saved. We've seen.
Wow.
The biggest challenge, or not the biggest challenge, the biggest joy for me would be in like 2005. I got saved in 2003. So in 2005, my dad, I was never going back to my dad. So there was a lady at church, and I call these little words of Christian in action. She would point at me and go, "You need to go see your dad." It's like, okay, I'll go. And I went first couple times. I'd only go like 2 times a year. So I just went with tolerance. I didn't have hate. Didn't have love. I just tolerance to go.
You bet.
Then in 2005, he was in the hospital, and it's just like somebody put their hands on me and shoved me up there. I still didn't want to go up to him, but like I just got shoved up there, and told him I loved him and I was sorry and made amends. And on Wednesday, I ministered to him about Christ, about Jesus, and saying, if you want salvation, you know, you have to do it. I can't do it for you. He was silent, and a little bit later, some time went on. I said, "Did you say your salvational prayer?" And he shook his head, "No." And I said, "You want me to help you?" And he shook his head, "Yes." So I held his hand, and he said a salvational prayer.
Wow.
And then after that, it's like, the Lord is coming, the Lord is coming. So that was going from hate, 40-some years of hating my father, to wanting to kill him, to making amends for him to get saved. And then 2 years later, my mom got saved. So,
wow.
And they were in their 80s.
Oh my.
So that's been my faith journey. I didn't grow up in church, but just being saved. I mean, I love Chainbreakers. I love some songs that God chased you down, because he literally chased me down.
The reckless love of God.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I look back at when I had a gun to my head, was a bright light, flash of bright light, stopped me from pulling the trigger, and I put the gun down. And that light, I look back and saying, that's my first communication with God, the light. And then later on, you know, the rest of the story, kind of the Paul Harvey, the rest of the story goes on. But
well, there is so much in there, and I'm going to do a poor job of recapping, but hang on, and Morgan, fill in what I missed. But we've got from success, but albeit with anger in it, to brokenness, homeless, suicidal, salvation, transformation, remarried, and now living a life that's very blessed,
and then blessed to servanthood.
Blessed, see, that's where I was just going to go. If God gave you all of this stuff, and I'm using air quotes, right, stuff, it wasn't for you.
No.
It's for you to serve.
Yeah.
So
you have
what's
to be
that look like?
Yeah, you have to be a servant. So everything we do for our customers is servanthood.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be a good seed salesman or a good salesman, a good car salesman, I mean, if you're going to be a good person, you're going to need to serve.
Yes.
You have to be a servant. You have to serve others. So all the blessings can flow through, not within. So when we receive our blessings and the money and everything that we've received, then that has to flow out of you to serve the kingdom, to serve other people. And maybe it's not even money. Maybe you're not even giving money. Maybe you're just giving time, your time.
Love.
Maybe you're mentoring somebody.
Yes.
Yeah, it has to be unconditional love, agape love. And at the end of the day, you can't hold that all in. And continue to bless God's kingdom, because we are to seed the seeds, share the gospel. And for me, we have Bible apps on Holy Bible app, and we have about 8 people on that.
Great
so
app.
we do that every day.
Good.
And we have high school, college girls. Okay, we have ladies that I've never met on this through friends that we just share, and that's part of our seeds that we're developing. Besides going to your own church, your own community church, your own Bible study, your own small group, I mean, we're involved in that. Then you have your own ministry. You're all a minister.
Amen.
And then everyone has a different journey, and everybody has a different experience. So every ministry is different. We all can't be the same. So our ministries are for you. So for me, it's suicidalness, and I'm very sensitive to that, suicidalness and homelessness. So my ministry is more that, and I can feel that through other people and share what happened to me. You would have a different ministry. Everyone would have a different ministry. And you're going to reach different people. So you're going to see different people.
Yeah, the Bible describes it as the body.
Yeah.
And not everybody can be the hand or the foot or the
Right,
finger,
right.
or all that stuff. And it's just amazing how he deployed you using
Right.
the journey you'd went through.
Right.
And then to bring Paul in at the timing in which he did. Just,
Right. And I think that's why our business is so good, because in our dealerships kind of spread out. I mean, we're like 50,
Yes.
60 miles. We're not like all within 3-4 miles. I mean, our
Right.
whole business core is spread out. So I'm driving, but if somebody needs to, I can stop along the road. I can chat. I can chat an hour for them, really.
Yes.
And if I had to, I could cancel the next appointment or delay it. If I get that calling and we're in that conversation and someone needs me, or God needs me to, work through them, because it's really not about me. It's all about God's work and servanthood. And so, yeah.
Amen. Interesting statement in the Bible about how the Lord gives and then the Lord can take away.
Yeah.
If he were to redeploy what he has given you, and you'd be back into a situation where you didn't have those blessings, what would you still serve with?
Yeah.
What would you do?
I think you would have served, for me, and I've thought about that, because we just went and saw, is it Jesus the Revelation?
Yes.
Movie.
My parents were just talking about
Right.
that, and they
Okay.
loved it.
Right. And that one was really hitting in another core, because I think there's something else for me to do. So
Absolutely.
I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but there's something else that I can share that is real simple. I mean, you don't always need money.
Nope.
I mean, money's good. I like money. Money gives you opportunity.
You bet.
And it gives you things and ways to bless other people.
Yep.
But you also have your time, your like me, I could be a mentor.
Absolutely.
Your experience, things like that, you can share. Like we were 4-H leaders, and we were 4-H superintendents with beef, and we kind of got so busy that it was like, oh man, I just got to cut something back. So we cut some stuff back. But at the end of the day, there's ways.
Yes.
So
There's
I think
always
the
a
Holy
way.
Spirit has to fill that gap for me right now.
You bet.
And for the last 3 years, I'd literally just been working on joy and peace. Through COVID and all the politics and how that was turning out, I literally worked on joy and peace every day for the last 3 years. So I'm finally receiving and getting, because what you think and what you say is what you're going to get back.
Amen.
So if you're negative feeding or saying negative things, that's what you're going to get back. So
We reap what we sow.
you reap what you sow. Yeah. So
Sadly. This is unfair of me to ask, so forgive. But if people hear this and they want to reach out to get more details, is there a way they could contact you?
Yes. Yeah, you can call me, text me, email me, message me.
Would you mind providing your phone number?
Yeah, no, my cell phone number is 219-863-9273. So just text me. A lot of times I don't answer the phones if I don't know the people because of all the robocalls.
Oh, for sure. I do the
if
same.
you do, and if I don't answer, leave a message. But probably best way is just text me.
I don't answer if it's from people I know.
Right. Well, especially David Greger. David Greger.
He does
I
decline
understand
my
that.
call all the time. He just doesn't love me anymore.
He's trying to
I text you instead.
That's true. That's very true.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for being willing to share
Yes, thank you.
your number, because I do believe there will be others that want more.
Right.
And they're just curious.
Yes.
We've barely, tipped the iceberg here.
Well, and it's kind of come out with some other people, some higher exposed people about emotion and depression.
Oh, yeah.
And how that's gone. And then I think we got so isolated with COVID that affected people. So it is coming out a little more. Mm-hmm. And then there are hotlines now for suicide.
Yes.
Things like that. But at the end of the day, when I was suicidal, nobody knew I was suicidal. You hide that so well as an individual.
Oh, okay.
You burn up inside. You hate yourself inside. But you're not going to show your suicidalness to someone. And when parents, and I've talked to parents about this, when parents go, oh, I didn't see it coming. I didn't see, maybe their child killed themselves or whatever. It's like, I didn't see it coming. I didn't see it. You won't see it coming because they hide it. They hide that from you. And you might have a great relationship with them, but you're not going to see it.
Right.
So at the end of the day, just be open, be sensitive. So like even in your ministry, your own ministry, everyone's got a different ministry. Just go back to when you got saved, if you've been saved. If you haven't, then I'd look into being saved or accepting Christ as your Savior. But if you've been saved, then go back to that day you got saved. And what was your sensitivity then? What was that sensitivity? And then pull that sensitivity forward, because sometimes we can get calloused over and it's 10 years later, or maybe it's 40 years later. Some people have been, and we need everyone. We need the person that just got saved, and we need the person that got saved 40 years ago. But pull your sensitivity back out to that level that you got the day you got saved. Yeah.
The Bible calls it our first love.
Right.
And I love the way that is phrased, but you described it really, really well. And so thank you.
Yeah.
Stuart, thank you for sharing today. And
no Stu Baby today? Or no?
Stu Baby.
Thank you.
There it is.
I love it. I love
appreciate it.
But I remember meeting you for the very first time at New Dealer Orientation, and I thought, this is a guy's story that needs to be shared.
Yeah.
And at the time, we didn't have this platform, but now we do.
Right.
And I'm glad we're able to use it for
I
this.
appreciate the opportunity.
Well, we're going to close out unless Morgan's got other questions.
No, I was just going to say, there's, like you said, there's plenty of hotlines. If you do have certain thoughts, get help wherever that may be.
Please.
Talk to somebody, even though it's hard.
Right.
You feel alone, right?
Right. And you are alone.
You are, but yet you're also not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not, but you don't know that as
100%.
an individual.
Yeah,
I did not know I was not alone.
Right.
I was just alone in my misery and chaos.
Right.
And it's very hard. I just hope God chases you down, because you're in a different realm. You're just in a different realm, and you cannot find yourself. And you're always trying to find someone else to help you. And what I always say, humans will disappoint you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Christ will never disappoint you. Jesus Christ will never disappoint you. And in my 7 years, I was wanting someone else to help me, some other individual, without asking for help.
Yeah,
I didn't want to ask for help. So it's a very touchy.
It is
tricky how you maneuver through that.
Yeah.
Just always feel that you're worth it.
You're loved.
You're loved, and you're worth it. God always loves you, and you're worth it. It's like for me, when people go, well, if I would have killed myself, people would have said, well, that was an easy way out. When you're doing that, it's not an easy way out.
Right.
It's the only way out.
Right.
For me, because I'd rather had 10 broken bones, because that would have been fixed. Those would have healed. Suicidalness cannot be healed. It can be healed. Like when I got saved, God took that away from me. Literally, that quick. Just boom, it was gone. But at the end, it was a challenge. You just are going through that muck, chaos and darkness and dark hole, and you're like spinning in an empty dark hole.
Yeah.
With no way out. So you feel like you're trying to grasp any little twig, and no one's putting their hand down to reach out and pull you up.
Yeah.
So, but Christ will.
Yep.
That's
Amen.
what I want to say.
Every
Jesus
time.
Christ will.
Well, again, thank you, Stu Baby, for sharing.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks.
Much appreciated. We are going to end, as we always do, with our fun, fast five.
Okay.
And you cannot, Paula's in studio. You can't reach out to her for help.
Geez.
You are alone in this one. So, real simple, though, if you're ready to go.
Can I say a preference?
Hopefully it won't be that hard, but if it gets that hard, Morgan will kick me. Skill or popularity?
Skill.
Cherished or respected?
Respected, I guess.
Toilet paper over or under?
Over, because I've been taught that way.
Yeah, no, the right way.
Paula, absolutely.
The right way. It shouldn't even be a question.
My nest is kind of like a starling. Hers is kind of like a wren, so it would have to be over.
I've never heard that before. A starling or a wren? I like that.
All right. You can use that if you need to.
I might have to borrow that.
He's going to charge you.
Yeah,
He likes money.
He does.
Yeah.
$5 every time.
Yeah, that'll work.
You'll use it for good. I trust
Yeah,
you.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah, exactly.
French fries or onion rings?
French fries.
And then last, swim or build a sandcastle?
I kind of like building a sandcastle.
Okay, very good. Especially
Right.
with the grandkids.
Yes.
If you get the chance.
Right.
Why not?
Why not?
Well, again, Stu Baby, thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
This has been a real treat and pleasure. We want to just thank all of our listeners for tuning in today to Across the Acres. Tune in next time as we will reach others who
Right.
have a story or message to share.
Right.
And we hope we can connect, challenge, and inspire each and every one of you. If you have thoughts or suggestions, please reach out to us at edu@beckshybrids.com. That's edu, short for education, at beckshybrids.com. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us today, and we'll catch you next time across the acres.
Thank you, guys.